Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to the daily call of His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj. So today, Maharaj will continue to enlighten us on the glories of Damodar Lila from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 9, verse 15. Hare Krishna, Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, we have like 6 devotees online. Should we begin the class? Your permission.
We just need about 2 minutes and I'll be right back. We can continue with the bhajan for 2 minutes.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. So we'll wait a couple of minutes. Sorry, your voice was breaking.
Just keep the bhajan going for 2 more minutes.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Sure. Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'll share the verse, Guru Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 9, verse 15. Tadharma Bhajyamanasyaham Sarvakasya Kvitagasaha Vidyan Guronam Abhutena Sandade Nyachakupika. When Yasoda was trying to bind the offending child, she saw that the binding rope was short a distance, the width of 2 fingers. Thus she brought another rope to join it. Purport. Here is exhibition of limited potency to his mother, Yasoda. When she tried to bind him, the rope was too short. The Lord had unlimited potency by killing Sakata Srinavarta. Now Krishna exhibits another display of potency to Lady Yasoda. Yes, I agree. Krishna desires, you cannot blind me. Thus, although Yasoda, in their attempt to bind Krishna, added one rope after another, ultimately, however, she was successful. In other words, one must be in transcendental love with Krishna. That doesn't control, satisfied with one's devotional service. He does everything himself. Sevamukhi Hijivadam, so he made this for the as devotees advance, the service begins with the tongue, with chanting and taking the prasad of Krishna. Atasi Krishna Namari, Mabhagad Atranamindriya, Sevamukhi Jivado, Swayam Eva Spurattada. From Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1, 2, 3, 4. Mudyan Timirandasya Gyanajana Salatraya Chaksun Namitam Yena Krisna Shigoro Namaha Sri Chaitanya Vistam Stapitam Yena Bhuta Swayam Mupa Gadamayam Gadati Swam Gadati. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. So, in this verse and purport, we get a little.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, sorry to interrupt. Your voice is a little bit breaking. It's not clear. Maybe you can try video, turning off the video.
So after we see that we get an insight on the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is sweet internal mood. Krishna is everything, but he has his own personality also. Although he's everything, he's still himself. He's himself, but everything at the same time. And he works in a certain way. In other words, he allows himself to be captured by this devotee. Is continuing service.
Sorry, Guru Maharaj, your voice is breaking a lot. Some words are not audible properly. I'm not sure it's just for me or it's for everybody.
It is breaking for us too, Mataji. Me too.
Yes, it's breaking for us too.
I think Guru Maharaj dropped. I think join back. We'll wait a couple of minutes. Yeah, right. Yeah, Hare Krishna. I think Guru Maharaj is trying to connect back. So meantime, we can just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra until Guru Maharaj joins. Yeah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Rama 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 Hare Hare, Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama. Yeah, yes, yeah. Guru Maharaj joined. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, we can't hear you as we see you online. Hare Krishna. I'm sorry, Guru Maharaj, we can't hear you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, we can hear you now. Thank you so much.
Hare Hare. All right, go back to the verse.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
So in this particular purport, we find that there's a little, we get an inside view of Krishna's internal mood. And he is totally and completely independent. And he can exhibit his independence at any time, whenever he wants. And whatever he does for the benefit of everyone. So his independence is always to benefit everyone. Of course, he acts for his own internal pleasure also. Krishna is always when you say one step ahead of everybody, at least. Here at the very end of the purport gives a little insight in how one can approach the absolute truth. This verse by Srila Rupa Goswami from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu indicates the process of devotional service. And here it says that jivado means with the tongue. People want to understand things through their ears or with their eyes, but we can approach the absolute truth through the process of sound. That sound is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And Prabhupada makes 2 points: chanting and taking prasad both are elements by which one elevates oneself in Krishna consciousness. The tongue vibrates, the tongue also tastes. So then that vibration, with the glorification of the Lord, it brings the something that is beyond the senses within range of the senses. In other words, by the tongue, we can actually taste the sweetness of association with Krishna through both of these elements, through chanting and through taking prasadam. Prasadam is not ordinary food. Prasadam is Krishna in the form of transcendental foodstuffs. And the taste of prasadam is the taste of the association with Krishna. No matter what that taste is, it's still transcendental, because anything that's offered to the Lord in devotion becomes it takes on the absolute nature of the internal energy of the spiritual energy. So prashadam is never mere material. It's always not only spiritual, but it's transcendental. Transcendental means it brings one's consciousness to that same realm of existence. Of course, everything bases on consciousness. If we're taking prashadam in the association of other devotees with the idea to serve Krishna, because it's called prashadam seva, not prashadam eating, prashadam seva. We're honoring prashadam, we're honoring Krishna in the form of prashadam. It gives nourishment, it gives happiness, it gives satisfaction of the senses. And therefore it's transcendental. Chanting the holy names of the Lord is Krishna himself. That sound is actually Krishna. Krishna is absolute. He can appear in sound, he can appear in wood, he can appear in metals, he can appear in the mind, he can appear in many different ways. And one of the ways is through sound, which is his holy name. So when Prabhupada said, when you're chanting, you're actually Krishna dancing in your tongue. You're tasting the sweetness of Krishna's presence through the chanting of the holy name. So Krishna has to be satisfied with our devotion and service. If he's not satisfied, then we get something because it's devotional attempt, but we don't gain the benefit of devotional service. The happiness doesn't come. So if we want to be happy in Krishna consciousness, we have to think of ways to serve Krishna, the pleasure of Krishna, and to serve Krishna's devotees in such a way that they also benefit by our service, which pleases Krishna, because the dear devotees are very dear to Krishna. Mother Yasoda, in her attempt to bind Krishna, was completely unsuccessful. Prabhupada said she was a failure. But that failure, in one sense of the word, is not a failure in another sense, because she was using her devotion to capture Krishna. But Krishna didn't want to be tied up. We mentioned yesterday how little children don't like to get restricted. They like to be free and do whatever they want whenever they want. That's the nature of children when they're about 3 or 4 years old, even younger. There's one young boy here, he's about 2 months old, 2 years old, no more than 2 years. His parents have to be 100% on top of him. Soon as they let him go for a second, he's all over the house. Literally, experimenting with things, trying to break things, running around, making some kind of show. He's quite the personification of a naughty child. He's really naughty, this kid. But Krishna was also very naughty. And whenever you see naughtiness in children here, that's an expression of that same naughtiness that's in Krishna. But the children's naughtiness simply is a disturbance, whereas Krishna's naughtiness is an opportunity for spiritual advancement. It's a great fun to watch Krishna perform his naughty activities. And even his parents enjoy it, although it's mixed with their concern that he doesn't fall down, get hurt. Mother Yasoda thinks the monkeys might scratch him, the dogs might bite him, he might fall down and hurt himself. So she's always in anxiety to protect Krishna, because she knows that the way he performs his baby activities is always mischievous, and therefore She's prone to become, hurt by his activities. So she's always in transcendental anxiety. Because any anxiety that one exhibits in devotional service is not like material anxiety. Material anxiety makes one depressed, makes one want to give up, makes one even somewhat neurotic. But transcendental anxiety inspires a devotee to work harder in Krishna consciousness and trying to think of better ways that they can serve Krishna. So the anxiety for a devotee is actually an opportunity for advancement in Krishna consciousness. Because anything in relationship to Krishna is auspicious. That's why when even a demon is killed by Krishna, it's auspicious because that demon gets elevated to the spiritual platform. So here we get a little insight. Now, this 2 inches too short, we mentioned that yesterday, indicates the 2 elements. This is somewhat analogous to the process of devotional service, wherein one needs 2 things. One needs love and determination, and one needs Krishna's permission. Mother Yasoda has everything, but Krishna didn't give permission, at least initially. After sometimes seeing his mother toiling so laboriously, and she was getting really worn out, Krishna finally exhibited his mercy in a different way and allowed himself to be tied up. But as soon as she left to do her household chores, you'll see what happens. He's immediately calling his friends to help get out of this tied up position. That's the nature of children. They don't like to be tied up, and Krishna is exhibiting that perfectly. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is completely independent. He acts whatever he wants. And but he's also very kind and merciful at the same time. His kindness and mercy is shown according to his own will. But generally the devotees can expect that. We should always know that Krishna is going to be kind. He's going to be merciful. He's going to lift us up. That we can expect. We shouldn't think, well, Krishna forgot me. Krishna doesn't care about me. I'm not good enough to get recognized by Krishna. As long as one is engaged in devotional service, Krishna is always there in some aspect to elevate the devotee. But it may come in different forms. But that's Krishna. And it's really nice because he's completely independent. Everyone wants that same feature in their life. They want to be completely independent. But our independence gets us in trouble because we're not guided by clear intelligence. When one becomes a pure devotee, then they also become completely independent. And they also serve Krishna in the best possible way. Their independence is not misused for something that is not beneficial for themselves or others. So a devotee wants to be independent too, but he knows that the only way you can be independent is connect with Krishna, who is also independent. And what is that independence that the devotee aspires for? That they can serve Krishna in whatever way they want, at any time they want. But because they have attraction for Krishna and even love for Krishna, they don't waste time doing anything material. It doesn't even come into their mind that to waste time doing something that is just mundane or routine. They always want to serve Krishna or Krishna's devotees. And that's their freedom. People in the material world think freedom means to get free from all kinds of authorities and do whatever you want. but no one can get free from the effects of the material energy, which is the ultimate authority for the conditioned souls in this material world. So one may reject the immediate authorities. They may reject God. They may reject their parents, their protectors, their teachers, but they can't reject material energy because material energy won't listen to them and keeps them under control at all times. That is the nature of material energy. So Krishna uses that material energy to bind a conditioned soul who thinks that they can be free and do whatever they want, but they're subject to the laws of material energy. But here, Mother Yasoda, she's not subject to material energy. She's simply subject to whatever Krishna wants. And finally, Krishna does agree. And then the story goes on where Krishna exhibits his independence in different ways, but always for the benefit of this devotee. Okay, so we'll stop there.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for this beautiful class. Thank you for explaining us the sweet pastimes and very nice. So I'll open up for the questions. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please, if you have any questions, comments, or realizations, please go ahead. You can unmute or you can type in the chat box or you can raise your hand.
And turn on your videos.
Yeah, please. Hi, humbly request, please, if possible, please turn on your video. It'll be nice to see you all, and it'll be nice engaging to all of us. So Guru Maharaj, I have a question. While devotees thinking about the questions, I like the point we said, like anxiety. So any anxiety that exhibits in devotional service is not material anxiety. So, I mean, since we are conditioned, sometimes like when doing a devotional service also, we develop anxiety. So how do we know exactly, like it's transcendental anxiety, and it's definitely we are not that level to exhibit.
Transcendental anxiety inspires you to continue on working in the same direction. It doesn't, material anxiety brings you down and you want to quit, you want to change. Transcendental anxiety inspires you to increase your service.
Okay.
That's the difference. But it's rare that a devotee can achieve transcendental anxiety. It's not something so cheap. It's more of an elevated quality. When a devotee thinks, I'm not doing enough service. Wasting time, I could be doing so much more service. Or my service is not good enough. I want to perform it better. I want to think of different ways to please Krishna and make it even nicer. So it comes out in these forms.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
I'm so miserable. I can't do anything. We always have. We can chant Hare Krishna. We can read books. We can associate with devotees. We can do so many things that will uplift our consciousness. But a lot of times we just don't do it. It's just because we're stubborn or we're just routine. Like today, we went out for a little parikram. We crossed the Ganges in the boat, and we went to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. We had kirtan, we had lecture, and we went to Sarabi Kunj, which is a place near Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, which was established by Lord Indra many years ago, and then Bhaktivinoda Thakur also lived there. Lord Nityananda performed his pastimes there. And so I was with one devotee, and he said, oh, it was so nice. Usually I'm not going out so much, and today was so nice. I met so many nice devotees. We had such a spiritual uplifting time, nice prasadam, everything. But get out of the house. Get out of your apartment. Go to the temple, chant, dance. Take prasadam, associate with devotees. Right, Sri Devi? Four walls are not going to change. They're going to look the same every day.
That's so true, Guru Maharaj. Every time I go to the temple, I'm so uplifted. And then I come back to the room and again I'm depressed. So
Well, tomorrow come to Guru Puja. And tomorrow Mahaprabhu Chaitanya is having a program 4 to 6 o'clock at his place. Come. Who else? I don't know. Go to your local temple to see what programs are going on. Nice. Associate with devotees. You forget about all your problems. There's two ways to get rid of problems. One is to solve them. Two is to go to a higher level where the problem doesn't exist.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for that. Yeah.
Anxiety just depresses one. We should always think, what can I do for Krishna now? What service can I do? There's so many books I haven't read, and they're important. I got rounds to chant, and even if I finish my rounds, still, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, we can chant more and more. I can be doing some services that I've been planning to do for a long time. Now I can begin them. And let me look, oh yes, this person is having a program tonight. Let me go.
Yes, thank you very much for sharing that. Yeah, definitely we have to always have that anxiety so we can execute more and more devotional service. So devotees, any more questions or comments?
Archana City, say something.
Haribol Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Lotus feet. Guru Maharaj, I have this question. In the purport, it says, and you read that Sevon Mukhe hi jivha dau. So the devotional service, this devotional service begins by the tongue, by chanting and honoring prasadam. But you also said that to attract the mercy of the Lord, the sound vibration, it begins with the sound vibration. So I'm a bit confused. Why doesn't it begin with the sound vibration? Why with the tongue?
Well, that's the same thing. Sound vibration with the tongue. You have to make that sound, and the tongue is the one that makes the sound, right?
Yeah, but but it didn't say hearing. It said chanting. I mean, it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah, how can you separate the two?
Yes. Okay.
Somebody chants, somebody hears. When you chant, you also hear.
Yes. Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much.
And when you hear, you also chant.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
No obeisance.
Thank you, Mataji. Devotees, any questions or any realizations also is okay. I mean, it's a nice topic. I'm sure you all have good realizations. Please do share. So, yeah,
We
please,
have
thank you. Sridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Hey, David, okay. Hey, David, if you don't get out of your house, I'm gonna come and get you and pull you out.
I'm coming, Guru Maharaj. I'm coming for the program tomorrow.
Okay, come in the morning for, you don't live that far from the temple. You're closer
No,
to,
I'm coming every day in the morning. After I got well, I'm coming for the whole Darshanarati, the whole morning program since yesterday.
oh, okay. Keep going. Don't quit.
No. I wasn't well before that. That's anyway. Yes, Guru Maharaj. I tend to become recluse again. After something happens, I tend to go into my shell for some time. I don't know why. But I've started coming to the temple.
So much nice association here.
Right. And it's very uplifting. It's very wonderful to be in the temple, to hear the kirtan. It's truly wonderful. So Guru Maharaj, I have a question. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you, Gurudev. I have a question, actually. It's maybe not exactly on the topic, but this is a question I really would like to ask and know the answer for myself. So Guru Maharaj, you've been giving these classes continually every day from the time that COVID lockdown began, March 2020, without fail, every day, of course, barring travel or something like that. How is it that you're able to keep the same enthusiasm, to keep giving the class day after day after day after day? Sometimes we are not very, forthcoming. We are not so eager to hear. We don't even get so involved or ask questions. We are quite a, passive audience, so to speak. But still, you never give up on us. And you just continue to do this wonderful, wonderful class. How do you get the enthusiasm to do it every day like this?
Well, it says there are 4 things. One is, what are those 4 things? We can think of 2. Books are the basis. I can think of 3 now. Books are the basis.
Preaching is the essence, utility is the principle.
Utility is the principle. Preaching is the essence. What's the other one?
Purity is the force.
Purity is the force. Yeah. So preaching is the essence. There's a sweet taste in preaching. Those who preach also hear. We were talking about the other day, I gave a class to a group of students at Vaishnav Academy. I'm sorry, Mayapur Academy. And we were explaining how the speaker also is the person who benefits most about growing the class. So yeah, the philosophy is so deep and so amazing and so unique that the more you go into it, the more you learn about it. And the idea is you learn about Krishna. How many people actually know God? Very few. Krishna says, hardly not one knows me in truth. In one place he says, hardly one. Another place he says, nobody knows me. So to learn about the nature of God, why he does what he does, his all-powerful feature, his sweet nature, everything about God is just so wonderful. It reveals God and it reveals our relationship with him. That's a feature that we gain by preaching. And the philosophy is nice. And because you're there every day to ask questions, you have to. Well, that's a side thing, but anyway.
I used to always think I'm such a nuisance. I open my mouth and irritate everybody with my questions, Guru Maharaj. And you always said, no, just keep asking, don't stop. So that's how I feel encouraged to go on.
You're giving class on the 28th of October, you said?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, by your mercy.
28th of October is the day before Srila Prabhupada's disappearance is on the 29th. 26th is Govardhan Puja. 27th is, not sure what that is. Right in the middle of all the holidays right there. Okay, so
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Your questions really help us. You're also learning, whenever you ask a question. Thank you so much.
But you learn one thing in Krishna consciousness, and this applies in general, is that when you stick to one particular service and you work at it, and you continue it day after day, you develop a taste for it, and you think of different ways in order to improve it. Like yesterday, I was reading some verses in the Bhagavatam, and I thought these verses would be ideal for our class discussion. So I'm going to look for an opportunity to put these verses in because I think they're so revealing in the process of devotional service. Devotees will get a lot out of these verses. So yeah, we get inspired by the philosophy and we want to preach. Can't keep it to yourself. Raj, you have a question?
I don't know if I have any questions. I just like churning over all the things that you've said. You said so much, so many wonderful things. I really liked it when you were talking about if so long as you're continuing in devotional service, Krishna's always there with you. He's always helping you. Because sometimes we can't see that. And then we think, oh, Krishna, why are you not helping me? But then now we'll remember your words saying he's there, he's helping you right now. You can't see it.
And if you ask him to help you, it becomes even more, you become more aware of his help.
Mm-hmm. If I ask him.
Yeah, you pray, my dear Lord, without your mercy, there is no mercy. Bilba Mangala Thakur in Krishna Karnamrita speaks one beautiful verse. He says, my dear Lord, with your mercy, what is the use of others? My dear Lord, without your mercy, what is the use of others? He only wants Krishna's mercy. And that's another problem we have in Krishna consciousness. That's addressed. That we don't get Krishna's mercy, we don't feel like it, then we take shelter of something material in order to counteract this feeling that I need something. But better to suffer and just go on with devotional service than try to look for something to fill in that need. Better just to wait for Krishna. So Prabhupada said devotees are like Chataka birds. The Chataka bird flies near the clouds, and the Chataka bird will only drink rain, water, directly from the cloud. Even though there's water on the ground, Chataka bird will not go there. It would only take water directly from the cloud. And even if the cloud gives some thunder, some lightning, and it causes distress to the bird, he still won't go anywhere else for rainwater. So devotees like that, they just want Krishna. If Krishna provides, they're happy. If Krishna doesn't provide, they're satisfied knowing that Krishna will provide. So
Is that about confidence?
yeah, faith. We can say for sure Krishna will always take care of his devotee. But our problem is we want him to take care of us the way we want and when we want. This pastime of Mother Yasoda shows that he's independent. He'll do the best, but he may not do it when you want it.
Wow, that's so beautiful and inspiring what you just said.
We can't order Krishna. There's no way of, you say, well, I want this Krishna. Here's my payment. That's my prayers and my payment. So please provide. It's not, Prabhupada said he is the order giver, not the order supplier. Don't try to make Krishna your servant.
Hare Krishna, dear Gurudev. Thank you very much. And I keep praying to Srila Prabhupada that he will not stop giving you energy and health to do all that marvelous work you do. Thank you so much.
Come to the club tomorrow to Kirti.
Tomorrow will be to come. Yes, I will be there. I'm looking forward.
Right near it's in the same complex where you are.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to be there.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. We have a next question by Scarlett Mataji. Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to Your Holiness, Guru Maharaj, and all glories to all devotees. I have two questions. And one question was from yesterday that you say I get to do it this time. The other one, it's not question, but thanks to thank you for your determination to what you do. Thanks to that, I got to be here. I got to learn even more. I got to be under your learning wing, so to say. So I'm very, very, very grateful for what you do. If it has not been because of the pandemic and the online services, I would never have learned about you. That is the fact. So I'm so grateful for that. The other thing, it's a question, and it has nothing to do with today, but it's very, very important, and I really need to know what to do with it. I have heard about right and left hand using, and I have learned that left hand you never use. That is wrong. You shouldn't do it. But due to the operation I have been undergone, and damage it has done to the nerve, when it comes to using both hands, in some situation, it's impossible for me to use my right hand. I have to use my left hand. I don't know what to do with it. So please, please, please help me and tell me what to do with it.
Well, you have to understand one thing. Krishna consciousness is practical. That means we're not fanatical. There is etiquette, and obviously we try to follow. But if for health reasons or circumstances dictate something different, then we may not be able to follow as directed. But because it's a practical matter, it doesn't take away from one's Krishna consciousness. So the answer is obvious that if for some reason you can't use your right hand, you still have to get the activity done. So you have another hand. You can do that. But if you understand the principle, then you can see how it applies in many circumstances, not just in question you used. In other words, there's other things also.
Thank you, Mataji. So, Gurma, just a clarification on that. Consciousness is everything. So we are perceiving consciousness through soul. So if say like one of our sense organ is not working, like hearing, we cannot hear. Still we can feel that consciousness, like just.
Yeah, you answered the question.
Okay.
Sincerity, as we mentioned, is the foundation by which all activities are performed properly. Sincerely trying to serve.
So we can feel that even though we cannot hear, it's because our activities are aligned to Krishna conscious, still we can feel that bliss.
We should try to understand the philosophy. It's not dogmatic. This is a personal philosophy. There are rules, there are regulations, but to follow the rules and regulations and not know why you're doing it, or following the rules and regulations simply for the sake of following, is a discretion or digression from devotional service. You have to know why you're following the rules and regulations. What's the purpose of it? And for some reason, if there's a matter of service, just like Prabhupada, one devotee said, he was preaching in Russia. And he said, there's nothing to eat here, Prabhupada, except meat. Prabhupada said, eat meat and preach. He said. So what he was saying is the preaching has to go on. And if you're following the rules and regulations and you're stopping your service, that is a fall down. If the rules and regulations cause you not to serve, just like on Ekadasi, sometimes people fast and then they can't do their service for whatever reason. They're too tired or their minds are distracted. Better to take something to eat and do your service instead of artificially trying to follow the austerity. And the principle is your service is your connection with Krishna. If we don't read the books, then we get into this, well, this, I do this and I don't do this. I do this and I don't do this. This is not Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means to use your intelligence to apply your energy in activities of service to Krishna. Guided by spiritual principles, you follow. But then again, Sanatana Goswami, I mean, I've said this many times in lectures, Sanatana Goswami says there are 6 principles that make up devotional service. One is called Anukulena, and the other one is called Pratikulena. Anukul means what is favorable for my execution of devotional service, and Pratikul means what is unfavorable. So we have to know what's favorable and what is unfavorable. The other 4 are complete dependence on Krishna, that he is my protector, he's my provider, and he is my maintainer. And the last one is Dainya. Dainya means humility. These 6 principles are the 6 symptoms of what they're called Saranagati, or full surrender. So sometimes we have to adjust the regulative principles in order to start to do our service. But that's only under emergencies. It's not a regular. It's like you want to go to the temple, but you don't have any transportation. So you think, well, I don't have any transportation, I won't go. But then again, you might call up some friend and say, well, can you take me to the temple? You can see if there's some public transport that'll get you there. You can call a cab, or you can walk. But if you have a desire to go there, you'll get there. It may not happen this way or that way, but it'll happen. If you want to serve Krishna, Krishna will always provide you the opportunity to serve. But sometimes you have to use your intelligence when situations are just, all the facilities are not in place.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. So beautiful. Thank you so much. I have
Get away from this dogmatic idea. Dogma is the enemy of Krishna consciousness.
yes, yeah. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Yeah. Scarlet Mataji, yeah, please go ahead.
I have another question. I have distributed books, and I just have said that I have got many of my questions answered, and that's why I think this is very, very good, and please read it. So, but preaching is something that I have, in my understanding, preaching, it should, for me, it should be when I myself have got in some position that I feel I can do the preaching, then I do preaching. Is it wrong to think this way? Should you do preaching in any time? Or when is the good time for a person who has started to come in Krishna consciousness to start preaching? Did I ask the question right?
Well, you may not be qualified to preach at the beginning because you still haven't understood fully, or you don't know how to practically speak the philosophy according to the audience you're trying to reach. So take yourself time and learn. Learn by reading, learn by hearing, learn by seeing how preaching is unfolding in front of you. But whatever you know through your own reading or hearing, you can always repeat that.
Thank you, Mataji. Devotees, any last minute questions, comments, or realizations before we end the call? Yeah, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. It's 1 hour past 11 minutes. I don't see any questions. So thank you so much again for this very beautiful class. Definitely we have to go back and hear again and again. So thank you so much again for this wonderful, wonderful class. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Vaishnava Vranda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Danvantari, Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna,
Guru
Guru
Maharaj.
Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Prem Kishori, Haribo.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Sridevi.
Shri Devi's question, Ki Jai.